I think when looking at whether Peter Murrell or Nicola Sturgeon should be suspended at the moment from the SNP, it's important to remember that Michelle Thomson, not Emma Thompson, Michelle Thomson, the SNP member for Falkirk East, was suspended when she was being investigated by the police for alleged irregularities about property dealings. Ms. Thomson denied all wrongdoing and there were no criminal proceedings, as indeed Peter Burrell has denied. And indeed, the former First Minister has denied that there's anything wrong. But the process of being investigated by the police, the precedent has already been set in Scotland, which maybe should have been set in the UK. Maybe anybody investigated by the police elsewhere in the UK, in Westminster, in Wales, in Scotland, in Northern Ireland, people should be suspended from their active duties while that investigation is ongoing, and then when they are cleared, they should go back to their active duties. It seems entirely inappropriate for somebody to be involved in lawmaking when they are accused of law breaking. And this itself seems to be, to me, an anomaly that has long demanded fixing. Otherwise, we have a system of sort of impunity. I remember there was a Doctor Who series involving Tom Baker, who was accused of murder. It had been done by the Master, of course, on Gallifrey, and his way out was to stand for president, which I think he was finally elected as president. And I think this is absurd. You can't get out of criminal responsibility and a criminal investigation by hiding under some sort of political banner. It just isn't possible, I think. In the same way as it raises a ghost of nonsense for somebody, even if it's legally possible and even if it's got precedent, for somebody to stand for president of a country while they are incarcerated or under a police investigation, criminal investigation, legal investigation. Now, of course, the problem with all this, the problem with taking a very strict stand on this, is that it's perfectly possible for people to invent legal crises simply to scupper a political campaign and a political career. But I think there should be a principle. I think there really should be a principle. We haven't addressed this issue because so far in our history we haven't experienced it very often. But it looks increasingly, as we look around the UK, as we look around at the political complexity of our government, it seems that this is a problem we are going to encounter more and more often. So we need to be prepared for dealing with it, and we need to have a system in place. I think Nicola Sturgeon's system was sound, and I think Michelle Thomson, it was right to suspend her, and I think it is odd that Nicola Sturgeon herself doesn't stand down for the time being, given the fact that she was the one who implemented this process, and equally get her husband to stand down. It shouldn't be a matter for Humza Yousaf to tell them to do so. It should be simply a matter of moral duty.